Perfect. Mr. Carter, you're recognized for 5 minutes.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate it. Appreciate all of you being here. Just a quick question. Anybody know what the number one state and the number one forestry state in the nation is? That would be Georgia. That is correct. Good answer. And in the 1st Congressional District that I have the honor and privilege of representing, we have a very competitive timber market. And it's something that we're very proud of, and something that we certainly work hard toward making sure that we have sustainable forest and making sure that it's a robust and vibrant system. It's been, and of course we know how advantageous it is in the fight against climate change. I mean, timber draws carbon out of the atmosphere. It's very important. Not only that, but it helps with clean water. A vibrant forest helps with clean water. It helps with wildlife habitat and all these different things. In fact, in the state of Georgia, the annual value of the ecosystem services provided by private forests alone is valued to be over $37 billion. So obviously it's a big part of our economy. And we know that throughout the United States that the annual amount of carbon that's stored by forest products is over 70 million tons. So this is extremely important. I wanted to ask you, Mr. Rutland, you're from our neighboring state of Alabama, and I'm sure you live in Georgia if you could, but you're in our neighboring state of Alabama, and you're in this business. And I work very closely with the home builders and have for quite a while. Wood products, you use them extensively in your business, I'm sure, in your industry. How closely is your industry tied to a robust working forest?
First, while I got your question right about Georgia, I do want to say War Eagle in your neighboring state. So
we're off to an inauspicious start here.
I apologize for that, sir. As far as the timber industry is very tied, obviously, to the home building industry. We rely on good quality timber, and we thank you for the timber that you grow in Georgia and the timber that's grown in Alabama as well. And it is a big part of the workforce in both of our states. It is a very important product.
Are there advantages to building with wood products?
Absolutely. It's certainly very flexible, very easy to use. There's a lot of things that you can do with lumber. I would agree.
Any other type of building materials that impact climate change as much as wood does, as much as lumber does?
Not sure I can answer that question.
The answer is no. There's not.
Sure.
You talked about energy efficiency and quite extensively in your testimony, and energy efficiency advantages, are they tied directly to wood products?
I would believe so. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. You're aware that the natural thermal resistance and the embodied energy that makes it easier to insulate these homes to higher standards, which of course is important as well. There's also, and Mr. Wright, I'll go to you for this. There's also in commercial buildings, we've been using a new green building trend that's called mass timber. I don't know if you're familiar with that or not.
I am.
Good. We got 2 buildings in the state of Georgia that are commercial buildings that have been built that are very notable. One at Georgia Tech, and then there's another one in Atlanta that's the largest square foot wood-built building in the United States. What are some of the advantages that commercial buildings could have in using wood as a building material?
So while we don't make specific calls on which products go down that, I do think that as you look at the tall wood approach, you look collectively by which you've got the engineers and architects going, what are the best products for that structure? And when you do that, how does that service the functional needs of that building, as well as the kind of work you would do to make sure that it's energy efficient, which in so many ways, yes, affects carbon and also affects the cost of operation.
And I get that, and I understand that, and certainly in the private sector, it's a business decision. But we have to all agree that it has an impact on climate change as well, and on our environment.
Most assuredly, the products and materials that are used on each one of those structures has an impact. And when you're collectively looking at it, you've got to make the best choice.
Should the impact on the environment enter into a business decision like that?
I think for many companies, they look collectively in terms of their own cost and how it serves into the broader needs of the communities.
And that's very important, and I appreciate that approach, because we're never going to solve this problem without the buy-in from the private sector. So that's why this is so important. And thank you, Madam Chair, and I yield back.
Ms. Bonamici, you're recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you very much. Thank you to our witnesses. This has been a great discussion today.